So I think what Michael Noonan should introduce in the budget of 2015 to help students is maybe a bit more support for postgrads. At the moment, the only real support that's there in most colleges are €2,000 towards fees for postgrads, and that's €8,000 kind of what you're looking at for a postgrad fee. €2,000, especially in Dublin, isn't really enough. And then I'd say for them, what measures should they do then is kind of bring back to education allowance, make sure it doesn't get any cuts, or maintenance grants. And like when I was in undergrad, for me, that basically got me through college. That paid for my bills, paid for shopping, even though I was living at home, because I was only living with my mother. Single parent, there's very little income going there, and that kind of helped me basically get through college. When I went through college, you got a bit of cut. That kind of hurt a bit. You really felt that cut. And also then there's people who I knew where the cut was just so dramatic that they had to drop out of college. So like every time there's a cut, like it ripples through all the education fields, and then it kind of hampers anyone's opportunity then to get a chance through education at third level.
Should student fees be abolished?
I think to an extent they should be abolished, because I think then it brings a playing level field to everyone who gets a chance, not just the people who can afford it, but like everyone should have a chance to education. They should have a chance to get the skills to go further in their lives, rather than getting third level education and being, not having the chance denied the right to education. Because that's not really fair. That's a kind of unfair reality of things. The argument out there is that fees pay for education as such, but then if we had better support systems, that would also help people then be able to go to college. There's free fees. People say we have free fees in Ireland, which is kind of a little bit of a not true. Because when I was growing up, it was like, oh great, Ireland's great, it's free fees, and you're like, oh actually, it's not free, and that kind of then it brings a lot of families back and going, sorry, you can't go, we can't afford it. And then there's people who can afford it going to college, become the doctors and the lawyers, and it's almost like this kind of circular trap. People can't get into college, get those skills to break that cycle, and then they're kind of just stuck in a kind of purgatory that they can't continue on. Even there's lots of people who are well able to carry on and just can't because of financial problems at the moment. I know for me, because I went to UCC and I would do my postgrad now in D.I.T in Dublin, and for me the biggest problem was finding accommodation. That was problem one. And then obviously then there was a accommodation crisis. Of course, the year I move up, there's an accommodation crisis yet alone. And then obviously the expenses in Dublin. Living in Dublin is a lot more expensive. Postgraduate fees are a lot more expensive in Dublin. But at the same time, there's a lot of people moving to Dublin because that's kind of where you get the jobs, that's where the work is, that's where everyone seems to be kind of migrating to. And I suppose that's one of the problems with accommodation and lack of employment, is because everyone's in a big exodus going towards Dublin. That's the hub of activity. Now for me at the moment, it's after last time I spoke, no accommodation, but I found somewhere now. But now it's a problem of I'm still waiting for about a month to hear back about my loan. And I was told it would take 2 to 5 working days. That's a month later. Still haven't actually paid my fee, so I'm actually still not fully registered, but I've been told to keep going anyway. I'm still waiting to hear back from Susie, so those SAS supports still isn't there. So at the moment, I'm still no support. And then for postgraduate, say, I'm in college 9 to 6, I try to find a job that's flexible enough for me to not hamper my degree at the same time. Rather than paying for my postgrad, while also trying to pay for it at the same time with employment, and also kind of damaging my degree as such. So it's got a lot of catch-22s all the time. There's a lot of financial problem at the moment. It seems to be a big one for me. So there's one thing I'd ask Michael Noonan to do in the budget would be not to take education for granted. Because education is, I think, a basic right. You see a lot of students follow that same kind of mantra that it is something that's important. It's not, we don't take it for granted. But if the government take it for granted, that kind of shows, that kind of puts us then at a halt, that we can't continue on, and educate ourselves and get more skills, and then be able to stay in the country rather than leaving the country to get jobs elsewhere that wouldn't require masters. Giving us a job bridge for those kind of things, you need masters. So I think don't take education for granted. Education is a human right. I think everyone should have a right to that, right of education, really.